Greetings, everyone. This is Payment Learners, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, we're kicking off day 3 of the May class for the live 5-year life profitable podcast launch challenge. And today is going to be a good one because today we're going to be crafting your offer, your irresistible offer. We're going to be taking what we did so far, your zone of genius, and I sincerely hope that you did the homework, the assignment, the brainstorming, the soul searching, because today we're going to take all of that and put it to good use. So let me get going. Okay. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
My ears look so glossy. Wow. Thank you, and I appreciate that. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about your offer. We're going to be crafting your irresistible Godfather offer. We're going to be crafting it live. It's going to be built around what's the number one pain point you're solving through your offer, podcast, business, messaging, and everything. And then I'm going to introduce to you guys a very powerful principle that completely took my business from a side hustle to an actual business. And that is something that is a non-negotiable principle if you want your business to be not just profitable, but to be a business in the first place. And that's going to be the quantifiable, measurable end result, the QMER. And any successful offer must have that. So we're going to go about that. So the agenda, same as usual. First of all, any questions about yesterday, about day 2, about your zone of genius? No, I know you're talking to us because you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me repeat that. Apologies, everybody. What was genius to me yesterday was who would have thought I would have been my own avatar? The members would have been their own avatar. Here I am looking for it, but I am it. You're it. We're all it.
Because I never related with trying to create a fictional character that is not me.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
supernatural.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Any other questions, comments, compliments? Even better if it's about my shiny, glossy hair.
I
Well,
would love to
Payment,
share something.
Sorry,
I'd like to share something.
please go ahead.
I found it really powerful yesterday when you said, imagine I called you to come and do a keynote speaking event, and what would you talk about? And right then and there, it was like this epiphany of, oh my goodness, this is what I do. Like, it totally blew my mind because I've tried to search for it for so long. And in that one question, it just really uncovered what it is I do, what my big, like everything. So thank you so much for that. That was amazing.
Pleasure of mine. Honestly, that is one of the fastest, easiest ways to really identify what is your true zone of genius, something you really love geeking around, something you're really good at and you're passionate about, something you can talk about for an hour, no preparation, no slides, just on the fly. That's it. Beverly.
yeah, it was a real awakening because you came at it from a different perspective. I agree with what everybody has already said, but the last thing that you shared with us, you said make columns and put sections of your life. And I did that. So after I
Wow.
got off the show, I was like, no, I got to do this now. So I did that. And I realized that it's got to be about 15 years ago when I came up with what it is that I do best, and that was identity revelation specialist. And I used it for a long time, and then I don't know what happened, but it all came back last night like a wide awakening. And so it's like that's what I do. I help people find their identity because that was me, just like Natalie said. Hey, we are our own, whatever. So wow, and to be able to look at the avatar different because I tried that too. Try to name it and this is what they did and whatever, and it just would not click. But
Like a
it did
silly
click
example.
yesterday.
Jim works in IT, makes $90,000 and drives a Lexus. That's not me.
Yeah. No.
IT bores me to death. That's not me. So exactly. Anyways, awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm glad that this has been insightful for you guys. Any more questions or comments? As my good friend Phil, the pastor, would say, speak now, hold your peace forever. Once, twice. All right, let's go. So when it comes to niche selection, the worst thing you can do is to ask yourself, so what niche should I choose? Because again, it's not about going after a trendy, popular or sexy or profitable niche, because that's not the right way. Can you make money that way? Sure. Is it going to be sustainable, impactful, and profitable, and really something that you'll be doing in the long term? Probably not, because you're going to burn out of steam. Instead, the way we look at this, as we've been saying since the beginning, is look within. It's not about selecting a niche. It's about looking at your skill sets, your talents, your expertise, your experiences, your wisdom, your gifts, and ultimately your zone of genius. That's the best way to build a sustainable, long-term, impactful, deeply impactful for your clients and widely profitable for you. That's how we select our niche. And once again, it's about something very simple, back to basics. You're not helping someone with 35,000 things. No, one specific person, one specific pain point. That's it. That is the name of the game. Clarity is the name of the game. And we're going to dive deeper into that because that's going to be one of the maker or breaker of your business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Now, we mentioned yesterday about the lack of clarity as being the number one reason why most entrepreneurs, online coaches ultimately fail, is because they have no clarity. And when you don't have clarity, your message doesn't resonate with nobody. And that will result in you not getting any leads. No leads, no business. No business. Sorry, no revenue, no business. No revenue, no business. Guess what? You may have to look for a job. And that's something none of us wants to do in here. So again, this is very, 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 very real. The lack of clarity. And speaking of that, let's do a quick test, a quick role playing. Imagine that we're all sitting around the table enjoying some food, whatever, and the person next to you leans over and says, "Hey, Noeline, Renee, Allison, bud me. So what do you do?" If you were to start your answer with, "Well, it's kind of complicated." How many of you can relate with that? When someone asks that question, you start with, "Well, it's kind of complicated. Well, let me tell you a story, or this is how it started." How many of you can relate with that? Raise your hand. Type 1 if you can relate with that. And type 2 if you're ready to change that. Once and for all. All right, all right, all right, all right. So the way we look at it is this. You want to be able to, and this is what we're going to be working on tonight, to hone in your messaging in such a crystal clear way that when you answer that question with one sentence, it's going to be so clear that the person asking you will not need to ask any follow-up or clarification questions. And the only question in their mind is, "Oh, wow, that's amazing. What's the next step? How do I start?" That's the ultimate. And in order to achieve that, you need to have crystal clear clarity as to what is it you do. Sorry, what is a pain point you're solving and for who? Do you see how that makes sense?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So here's the hard. All right, let's do some role playing quickly. Let's say I'm sitting beside you, Noeline, and I'm
Yeah.
leaning over and I say, "So what do you do, Noeline?" One sentence. And your answer has to call out the person you're helping. What is it you're helping them? What pain point you're helping them? Doing what? And most importantly, how long does it get them to get to that desired outcome? So using this framework, so I lean over and say, "Hey, Noeline, what is it that you do?" One sentence, and we're going to go around.
Okay. In 7 days, I help reverse people's biological clock in 7 days.
Wow,
That's it.
you got me intrigued. How are you able to do that?
I've partnered with a Switzerland company.
All right, when you
And
say
they get it.
people, that's good, but I would like you to hone in on that even more specific. Is it men, women, what kind?
Women.
Okay.
So I've actually got it all down here. Could I come back to you? Because I've actually got it all down here.
Please, yes, come back to you in a moment. Okay, let me go to the next person then, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Renee, so leaning over to my left. So what do you do, my friend?
I knew you were going to call me next. So I'm a belief activation coach and I help struggling women find fulfillment in their life. And we go through a 3-month program to be able to uncover where they are lacking in their self-belief so they can live a more fulfilling life.
I like that. I like that. The only challenge I see in this is that it's a bit too long.
Yes.
Let's make it shorter. And again, one thing is very important, guys. Use very simple language. It's not about impressing someone with your vocabulary. It's about using even third grade, if not fourth grade language to make it as crystal simple for the person who's hearing it. But I like that. I like that. You have a great foundation. Gonna come back to you in a moment. Next to my right, Allison, what do you do?
Thanks, Payment.
Welcome.
So I am a mindset transformation coach, and I help professional women over 40 get rid of their old belief system that's holding them back and step into a new belief system to live the life that they desire.
I love that. The only thing I would add is the time frame.
Okay.
And make it realistic, as I'm going to explain to you in a moment later in this call today. The biggest question people ask is when they're looking at any program investing is, can I do it?
Mhm.
Can I do it? Sure, you did it, he did it, she did, but what about little me?
Yeah.
So yeah, love that, love that. Next, Coach Randy Brown. So what do you do, Coach?
I am a career enhancer and I work with men's and women's athletic coaches and help them go from being stuck to sought after in the career market.
Love that. What about the time frame?
Yeah, time frame. That's kind of a tricky one. It's tricky. Now in my past, the results from the past, and I've done this for 14 years, is for anyone I worked with for 18 months, I had a 92% success rate of them being able to get the job that they aspired to get.
That is golden. You need to utilize that 92% success rate in your tagline and your offer. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's as close to a guarantee as I can get, but I can't make a guarantee because I'm not a job broker.
Yeah.
I help teach them how to align with influencers in the profession.
Yes, absolutely understood. But the 92% success rate, you have to plaster it loud and proud everywhere.
Okay.
Even make a t-shirt and a hat. I'm not joking. Thank you, Coach. Awesome. Next, Drusella, what do you do?
I am the thriving community catalyst, helping overwhelmed and lonely faith-based women entrepreneurs to build profitable, thriving communities.
Okay, I like that. How long does it take for that person to get
I
that
can
result?
do 90 days, but I'm trying to find out how I will frame that.
All right. So here's one thing even though I'm not a lawyer, but this I got it from a lawyer as a tip. Don't use the word in or within because you're exposing yourself to legal liability. Instead, use in as little as. Because you cannot control, sure, you know your system works. Just like the saying, you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot drink for the horse. You can provide someone the blueprint that's worked for you and other people, but you cannot control whether that person is going to be committed and put in the work. So this is why it's very important, legal-wise, to use the term in as little as opposed to within or in 90 days. Because if you use in 90 days and the person doesn't get the result, they can and they may sue you. But instead, if
So-
you use in as little, then you're covering your back. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Do we have
And if you
any,
use the
do you have anyone here
accelerate,
with a legal background here? Any lawyers in here? Nope. Okay. Sorry, what you were saying, Drusilla?
can you use the word accelerate?
Which word, sorry?
Acceleration, accelerate.
Accelerate? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, say it with that word now. Are you there, Drusilla?
Go to somebody else. I will find a
Oh,
way
okay,
to
okay.
reframe. Mhm.
All right, no problem. Next. Oh, feel free to share the answers and the chat. We'll come back to chat after. Next to my right, Bunmi, what is it that you do?
Well, I help people take control of their health and well-being in a ways that they have not thought possible, helping them to empower themselves by using natural, non-invasive solutions, and that traditional method cannot solve. And my focus is on liver health, healthcare professionals, and those who are burnt out.
Love that.
And you can get a result in as little as 90 days.
Love that. Here's an advice for all of you guys. I
Yes.
do not want you to start your sentence with the word people. That's way too vague.
Okay.
Because, so if you work, for you mentioned health practitioners, then call them out at the beginning.
Okay.
For example, for me, my offer is, if someone were to ask me, what do you do? I would say, I help authors, coaches, and speakers to launch, sorry, not to launch, to get the first and next paid client through their own profitable podcast and YouTube channel in as little as 60 days, even if you have no audience to start with. First, you call out the person you're helping with what pain point, what dream outcome, doing what, and how long is going to get them to reach that goal. So again, highly recommend stop using the word people because that's way too vague. Instead, call out the person you're helping. Remember what I said? Clarity is the name of the game. The more specific you are, the more magnetic your message will be. Awesome. But I love what you said because it's very specific. And also, one thing that I want you guys to really focus on your offer is craft your offer in a way that's going to be not just transformational, but ideally life-changing. Now, I even have some clients that are not just life-changing, but even saving families. One lady, a good friend of mine, Louisa, Italian woman in Toronto, eating all kinds of Italian food full of carb. And by the time she was 50, she was deep into type 2 diabetes, taking like 20 medicines a day. A doctor told her, listen, if you don't make a drastic change, within 5 years, you won't be here. So she cut completely off all carbs, and cutting carbs for an Italian is like akin to telling them to die. They can't live without pasta, pizza, and all that good stuff, and bakeries. So she changed a diet. She got herself off of medication, reversed her type 2 diabetes. She lost 150 pounds in 2 years. She went from someone who had issues even getting out of bed to go to the bathroom. Now she's modeling. So, and now what she's doing, she changed her life. She saved her life. She saved her husband's life because again, same diet. And now she's not just saving lives. She's saving families. Imagine the impact of someone prematurely dying because of diabetes. It's destroying families. So, and that's why she's able to charge $3,000 a month with a minimum of six months commitment. So again, look for transformation and look for something that literally changes lives and ideally saves families. If you can achieve that, then money is no longer an issue. People will say, oh, yeah, shut up and take my money, literally. Does it make sense?
It makes sense.
Awesome. Next, to my right, Arlene from Tropical Edmonton.
Yeah, tropical Edmonton. It was supposed to be 27 today, but it was 22 and cloudy and
Is
cold
that
wind.
positive or negative?
Positive.
Oh, wow. So out of season.
But I'm surrounded by grass fires, so it's really dry. So
Ah.
anyway, I am an inspirational retirement coach, helping people planning for retirement.
Stop. Remove the word people. Remove the word people. Remember that, what I just said?
I know you did, and I was
Call out
writing
the
in
person. Call out the person. For example, for me, authors, coaches, speakers. Why? Because I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a coach. You're the avatar. Look at yourself. Who are you? What are you? And
normally I would say I'm an inspirational retirement coach helping independent women planning for retirement.
Much better.
To go from the fear of the unknown to discover a journey of clarity in as little as 6 weeks.
Much better. See the difference? You're calling out,
Yeah.
and you can even
And
deeper.
I always did say, I don't know why I put people in there, and then I heard you say that, and I was writing something else.
And you can
Very
go
good.
even deeper
you.
by going 1 or 2 layers further down. What kind of women are they? Single, just some examples. Single mother, entrepreneur, mompreneurs.
Independent women.
Okay.
Single, just
corporate women. So again, call them out in a very specific way. So when they hear it, they will say, wow, that's me. She's talking to me.
Exactly.
Just background noise.
And I'm finding out there are a lot of us.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Does it make sense?
Going into retirement.
Awesome. You got this, Arlene.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Next to my right, in another tropical location, Jan in Boston. I hope it's warm. Unmute yourself, please.
Wasn't bad today. I'm actually not in Boston. I'm further south than Boston, but not that much, 2 hours. I am a health coach, and I empower men, women, and children with chronic health challenges by helping them to integrate holistic and more traditional health modalities to navigate these health challenges and help them maintain optimum function.
Time frame?
I mean, it was one of my questions because I can have an impact within, like, in one session, they're going to feel a difference.
So mention that in as little as in as little as one session. Mention it loud and proud.
Okay. And so, I would say at least a 3-month commitment, but they will feel a difference in as little as one session.
Then you should mention that loud and proud because that's very compelling. In as little as one session, of course, it varies from person to person, but hey, in as little as one, hey, that's a big, compelling hook. Awesome. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see next. Next to my left, Lean. So what do you do, Lean?
You know how when somebody spontaneously hands an entrepreneur a microphone and they hesitate and back away?
Yeah.
I help with that in as little as 5 days.
Tell me more.
Well, quite often, entrepreneurs are looking for an opportunity to share their zone of genius. And they're given this opportunity either in a live podcast or in a podcast or a live stream. And they say no because they're afraid. I know that fear. I had that fear myself, and I don't have it anymore. So give me a microphone and get out of my way.
So when you say entrepreneurs, can you be more specific? It's a bit vague.
It is a little bit vague, but coaches would be probably one of them. I could go down as life coaches, narrow it down even
life
further.
Coaches, holistic coaches, that's even more specific.
Okay, yeah.
just to give you some ideas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Like that. Like that.
Okay.
Thank you. Next to my right, the lady with the most amazing name, Shermaline.
Lovely too.
Shermaline, are you there? Shermaline.
Yes. I'm
All right.
Yes, mine is as follows. I coach courage to professional and believing ladies so that they achieve their dream to close their growth gaps and become their better selves.
Can you speak closer to the microphone because we can barely hear you?
Oh. Let me
Yes.
have one minute, my volume. Yes. I coach courage to professional and believing ladies so that they achieve their dream to close their growth gaps and become their better selves.
Okay. Time frame?
I don't know. That's lacking.
Okay. That's your homework for you. Identify a time frame and add it to your sentence, your answer. And when you say believing women, you mean women of faith?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then put it this way because believing women is a bit vague.
Okay.
And even better, if it's Christians or whatever, say Christian women. It's okay to just call them out.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
actually more than
Christian.
okay. It's desirable.
Oh, Christian women. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. To my left, Beverly, what do you do?
What do? I help moms, empty nesters, and baby boomers find their authentic identity, live with purpose and passion, uncover their creativity to bring buried dreams into reality in as little as 45 days.
I love that. You're a smart cookie. You have every element in that sentence. I love that.
I've been listening.
I know you're a smart cookie. I know that. Thank you. Thank you. Has everyone shared their sentence? Did I miss anyone?
Okay, I'll come back with my one.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I help executive men and women 30 to 50 reverse their biological clock in as little as 3 days on a 7-day retreat.
And what's desired outcome they're gonna reach, and what or what's the pain point you're solving for them?
Premature aging.
Oh, then I would add that because reversing their biological clock is a bit too vague. So what does that mean? For a man is different than for a woman.
Ah, great. Thank you.
Very welcome. So, all right, you guys all have the gist of it. Now work on it, improve it, and share it in the Facebook group so we can all not only learn from each other but help each other. Okay. All right, let's move on. Again, here's the hard, cold truth, guys. If you cannot answer that simple question, what do you do? In a crystal clear way, in a way that the person fully understands exactly what you do without having to ask for follow-up clarification questions, then you don't have a clear business. In fact, you may not even have a business if you cannot answer this question in a very easy way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. Now let's move on. I've been talking a lot about the importance of having clarity, clarity being the name of the game. And equally, the flip side is there's a very real and very expensive, well, I just mentioned that, very expensive cost to a lack of clarity. Can you guys, at least one or two people, take a guess what that cost may be?
10,000
10,000 for what? Quantify
for
it.
the. I don't think I'm fully kind of grasping the whole question you're asking.
Okay, that's gonna help you guys more. So let's take a look, each of us, at our existing current offers and be truthfully honest with each other. First of all, is your offer crystal clear in a way that when someone asks you, you're able to answer it in such a way that the person understands exactly what you do without them looking at you like a, huh? 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 What do you mean? And without having to drill you for clarifications. And that is, guys, ask yourself these questions. How much is not having clarity in your offer costing you and your business each month? And then ask you, how much per transaction is that costing you? How much money are you leaving on the table per transaction? And we want to be on a positive, and on a positive note, how much more can you charge when you do have that laser focused clarity in your offer? Let's hear at least 2 or 3 people here who wants to go to share with us. First, how much is clarity costing you? How much are you leaving on the table per transaction? And how much more can you charge once you do have that clarity? One sentence, 2 or 3 people. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
I'm thinking, what I'm thinking, Lorenzo, is when people are scrolling, those words that you're using to get right down, niche right down, if I can't niche right down, they're going to keep scrolling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was thinking is it's really costing you everything. And basically, if you're clear, you can charge anything you want.
Exactly.
Because you're clear and people are going to pay it because you're just so clear. People like don't have any questions at all.
Yeah.
If you're not clear, then people are just like, if you don't know what you're doing, then how am I supposed to know what you're doing?
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most important thing, the biggest takeaway from this week that I want you guys to remember is this. This is not about helping you launch a podcast or even build a business, but ultimately having clarity. What is your purpose? What is your mission? Ultimately, why you're here for in this, what is your mission in this lifetime? Ultimately, without going too cuckoo or woohoo. You know, even though we have a very special scientist with us here, she will know who she is, you know. But yeah, it's way bigger. And because that's going to be, as I said, the number one reason why most online entrepreneurs and coaches struggle to get anywhere is because of they lack clarity. And clarity is literally the name of the game. It's costing you everything, just like you mentioned. You said it very nicely, Jan. If you have clarity, you have a business. No clarity, no business. Or you might be able to charge peanuts, but you want to get the big bucks. That's when clarity comes in. That's why it's very, very, very important to be specific, to be an expert. This is why I emphasize so much on your zone of genius, your gifts, on you being the avatar and just looking within. It's not about investing 5-10 years to learn a new skill and all that. No, nobody has time for that. Nobody wants that. Just look within. Look at your life. Look at yourself. You're your avatar. You are the object of study, and you just share your gifts. Those that what me and you have to offer may not be for everyone, and that's beautiful. But for the right person, it's going to be a godsend. And that right person will be gladly paying you accordingly. And that's why we're here, to find you that clarity is going to first give you the clarity. What is it that you can help someone at the highest level? And then finding that person so you can help them and get compensated accordingly, handsomely. Go ahead, Beverly.
Yeah, that really kind of brought something to the forefront, going back on what got me out of where I was to get to where I am was knowing what my driving force was. So when I started, not having that identity was also the problem because of having kids and being married. So now you're just so-and-so's wife, you're so-and-so's mother, you're so-and-so what your job is. So it's by, identity by default on what you do. So by finding what that driving force was to get my identity back, and as we go through periods of life, that driving force changes because my kids were my driving force to be able to survive, to do what I wanted to do and make my dreams come true and get out of the dead end problems rather than sit there and spin your wheels. I wasn't staying in a dead end marriage. I wasn't staying in a dead end, where my dreams were coming true. Right. And so, but I had to have a driving force, and it was my kids so that they wouldn't be stuck in the same mud hole that I was stuck in.
Love that. Love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Coach.
Heyman, would you agree that as close as you can get to what they're going to gain in the end is really important? Because if you can't put a number on that, financially, a number on that, I think that's where people don't make decisions, because they're like, well, okay, yeah, I probably need that, but I don't know if that really, I don't know if that really pushed the needle for me.
Yes.
Now, I'm fortunate because with what I'm now doing is because there's so much money in college basketball and in the NBA. I'm going to help push, those that are, let's say, they're in an entry level position. It might be a graduate assistant or a first or second year assistant coach. It might be in their 20s, but their next job could easily be in the 50s or 60s. And so when I talk to them about going from stuck to sought after, we're talking about that job, their next job.
Yes.
And they can put them now that should really help me, because then I can say, I don't have to convince them that what it is I'm helping them with has a high value to it. They already know what the value is.
Yeah, just absolutely. And I would highly recommend for you something I didn't know that you mentioned in this call, the 92% success rate. That's something you need to shout out of the top of your lungs at every chance you get.
Yeah.
And be unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
Because you've earned that.
Right.
And now you have all the rights in the world to, I wouldn't say boast about it, but to really claim it and share it loud and proud.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's move on, because we have a packed day today. I'm going to share with you now something that's incredibly, incredibly powerful. I call this the golden rule of business. And that is, your client has to care about the problem before they can care about the solution you and your offer. Let me repeat that. Your client has to care about the problem before they can care about the solution you and your offer. Here's what I mean. The major mistake most coaches do is they start the conversation right away with dumping the offer, trying to pitch the person with all they can do for them. But just like you said, coach, most people do not, when you come at them from this angle, because they don't understand it, they don't see the value, don't see the need for it. So what I mean is this. Our number 2 tasks, 2 most important tasks as a coach, as a mentor, as an activator, is number 1, to educate. And here's what I mean. We all have problems and issues that we may not even, I have problems we don't know what we don't know. And that applies to all of us. So what we need to do is educate them. What is the problem they're facing? Why the problem is here in the first place? And what's going to happen if they don't take any drastic action towards it to fix it? Make them feel the pain. Make them feel it in a very vivid way, because they need to understand it. If they don't, they will not see the need in what you're offering. But this is what I said on day 1, your podcast is going to be not only an amazing lead generation machine, but most importantly, it's going to be a fantastic lead education machine. Because your number one task is to educate your audience to what is a problem, why it's here in the first place, what's going to happen if they don't take any action. And then since you will be the one that's going to bring all this to their attention, guess what that's going to do? Going to do three beautiful things. One, build trust, display your expertise, and you will become by default the go-to person, the go-to expert, because you were the only one among the sea of other people that instead of dumping them with the offer and pitching them right away, you were the one that sat down and made them understand what is the problem and make them understand the full gravity and seriousness of the issue they're facing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is very powerful, guys. This is very powerful. This is the crux of everything. Because if you go at someone, for example, coach, you said, let's say I'm a young buck coach trying to get into the NBA or whatever it is. Let's say I am facing diabetes, but unless I fully understand what is the scope, the gravity of the issue, I'm not going to sit down and listen. I'm not going to even see the value in what you have to offer. But once I understand the seriousness, the gravity, and the consequence of why it's here, the consequence if I don't take any action, then I will sit down and I will be much more open and likely to listen to what you have to offer. Does it make sense, guys? Type 1 if that makes sense. Type 2 if it's a breakthrough for you, because this is very, very, very powerful. This is very important. Let me check the chat and also get a refill. Okay. Okay. One and two, one. Yes, absolutely. This is incredibly, incredibly important, guys. That's step number 1, to educate them. And I'm going to come to that in a moment. Step number 2, the second most important task we have as a coach, as a mentor, as an activator, that's my favorite word. And that is to make them believe, understand, realize, and see that they can do it. When someone is looking to invest in a coach, they have 3 main questions in their mind. Number 1, can I trust this person? Number 2, is this person competent? And number 3, the big one, can I do it? Sure, you did it, he did it, she did it, but what about me? That little me. That's the ultimate question. That's what's going to determine whether you get the sale or not. Does that make sense, guys?
Mhm.
Yes.
So again,
Yes.
these are our 2 main important tasks. And as I mentioned earlier, number 1 is to educate. And these 4 4 things we need to address all the time in our messaging. Be very specific. What is a problem? And for who? That goes without saying. Then the reason why the problem exists in the first place. Then the consequence of the problem and the ultimate negative outcome as a result of inaction. Paint the pain in a very vivid way. So they feel it, they burn it. Because just like, Tony Robbins always said, the 2 powerful driving forces are pain and pleasure. People are twice as likely to go away from pain than getting to pleasure. So focus on that. For example, for me, in a very simplified way, the main thing I help my clients with is to eliminate the lack of clarity. Because I explain to them why there's clarity, they have a lack of clarity. I explain to them that, hey, if they have no clarity, the message is not going to resonate with anyone. And that's going to result in them not getting any leads, no revenue, no business, back to JOB. That's a very oversimplified way of looking at things. But really explain to them in a very detailed way. Because your number 1 task is to educate. And once you've educated, that's when they will ask you without even you having to pitch. Hey, Randy, Beverly, Noeline, Jan, Bunmi, Renee, how the hell do I fix this? Well, glad you asked. That's what I'm here for. See how that works, guys? Yeah. And because you're the one that actually took the time to listen, to help them, that's going to set you apart from everyone else, because no one else does that. They go straight away to pitching. Oh, I have the solution for you. This is what I offer. No. Show me why I need, just like and the movie Wolf of Wall Street. I don't have a penny, but sell me that pen. Why do I need this pen? You know what I mean? That's exactly it, guys. Put one if that makes sense, and put two if this is something that is mind-blowing. For me, it was mind-blowing. It was so simple, it's so mind-blowing.
Well, it's always the simple things that are mind-blowing because they're in your face and you're looking outside, you know.
We love to overcomplicate things, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
All right. So that's very important, guys. And then the second one, once we've made them understand in a very clear way what is a problem, the next step, that the next big task that we have and the sales cycle is to make them believe, realize, and see that they can do it. That's the ultimate. That's what's going to determine whether that person is going to take out their credit card or not. And in order to achieve that, again, it boils down to what I've been saying since the beginning. Have a laser focused clarity as to what pain point we're solving, for who, and what dream outcome they're going to get, doing what, and how long it's going to take them by saying yes to what we offer. Do you see how everything works and comes back full circle?
Yes.
And also, here's a very powerful way in order to achieve that. Give them a taste of a win as soon as possible. Because nothing motivates someone, even if something is very tiny. Give them a taste of a win as soon as possible, because that's going to reinforce in the mind the belief and confirm in their mind that they made the right decision. And they're not going to have this dreaded buyer's remorse and ask for a refund or dispute the charge and all the nightmares that come with it. The last thing you want is to have a unhappy client on your hand. I've been blessed not to have faced that so far, and I don't want that. Why? Because you need to have, because I've been able to really listen and really have clarity. So again, these are the two most important things. One, educate what is a problem, why it's in the first place, what's going to happen if they don't take any serious action, drastic action about it ASAP. Paint the picture to them in a very vivid way. Make them feel the heat, so to speak. And then once you do, you're building trust, rapport, displaying your expertise because you know what you're talking about. And then the magic happens without even you having to pitch. They will ask you, so Jan, Noeline, Beverly, Bunmi, Renee, how do I fix this? See how that works? And then, well,
So the key is to get them to the point to say, how are you going to fix this for me?
Yes.
Or with me?
And you achieve that by really taking the time to educating them. Because while you're educating them, you're showing, hey, you actually care. You're not here just to do a quick sale. You care. Not only you care, but you understand. You understand what I'm facing. And again, to be able to do that, and that reinforces what I said yesterday. For you to achieve that, to really understand your avatar, you need to be talking about you, about what you had to overcome yourself. That's what I said. You are the avatar. It's not some fictional character that is working in, say, in HR or whatever. It's making 85,000 and driving on the Civic or whatnot. That's not it. It's you. Who are you?
Payment.
Yes.
Is it worth, I mean, not is it worth, but how do you, I just wanted to get your feeling for example, having them experience something, even if it's just like for a few seconds. Sometimes an experience is worth 1,000 words of explanation.
Yes.
So bringing them to a point where, let's say, if they're in pain and for a moment that, you help relieve that pain.
Yes.
Or that pain point is, as opposed to trying to explain it and educate. Because sometimes I find it's like, it's almost too much. It's like, just show, if they get that experience, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's the aha moment kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Sometimes over explaining can overwhelm someone, but make them live the moment, the experience, give them a taste of a small win, make them believe that they can achieve it. This is the ultimate question. How many of you, before the last time you invested in anything for yourself, which is, whether it was a coach, membership, whatever, how many of you, for you, the big question was, can I do it? Put a 1 if that was the deciding factor for you, and 2 if it was not. For me, that's the big one. Okay, Noeline, you put 2. What was the deciding factor for you?
Would you repeat that, please, Lorenzo?
The question was, the last time that you invested in a program in yourself to solve a specific problem, the question that you were asking yourself in your head, can I do it? How decisive was that question in you pulling the trigger and saying yes to that, to investing in that program?
Yes, I was very decisive, and even now I'm still very decisive because of my own experience.
Yes. So again, remember these 2 tasks. First one, educate. That's what I said on day 1. Your podcast is a phenomenal lead education. And when you educate, guess what? The lead's going to flow naturally. The leads, the clients, everything. All right, let me check the chat before we move on. Oh, yes, Shermaline, yes. Even signing up for this podcast challenge, can I do it? But I said, why not? Let's do it. Yes, always. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
My biggest question was always the how to. It's, I don't have doubts that I can't do it. It's getting the how to. And that's what I have found in a lot of programs and stuff that I've been exposed to was nobody could give me the how to. And it didn't make sense. And I've invested in some hoping that the how to would show, and so I just quit and just went back into my own how to, and instead of making financially costly mistakes, I just did it until I got it right, so what is your suggestion when someone says, the how? Because again, if they don't believe they can, a lot of that then is secondary to maybe I don't know how.
I don't know how. The way I've looked at this was when I look at any program or any coach to invest in, the first question, as I said, is, can I trust this person? Second question is this person competent? So these 2 questions lead to, can I do it? If the answer is yes to the first 2 questions, then I trust the person. Then I trust that the how will be provided within the program, because that's what most programs do. They tell you what to do, but the how, they don't always show that. They show that once you join the program, whatever it is. That's what they're literally basically selling you, the how, the implementation. But the how, for me, again, comes down to that. Make me understand what is a problem, educate me, and by you really taking the time to educating me, then you will realize, you will understand, you will see, you will notice that, hey, okay, it makes sense. If the person fully understands what is it the problem and they've overcome it themselves, then you can be pretty safe to assume that, hey, they will know how to do it. The how is going to be delivered in a good way inside, once you take the next step. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Very welcome. All right. Now, let's take a look at your irresistible Godfather offer. Do you guys know what is an irresistible Godfather offer? In one word.
That means it's always going to be the result is always going to be what you gave them, and it's always and you're going to always be there as someone they can fall back on.
Yeah, the outcome, just as we started at the start of the call, the dining table test. We practiced on that. So what do? What is your offer? So an irresistible Godfather offer is an offer so good that you can refuse it. Or as Alex Hormozy says, an offer so good that you would feel stupid saying no to. Now let's take a look at this. And again, here are some basic foundational keys to a successful, winning, profitable Godfather offer. Again, it all comes down to one thing. Start with a C, ends with a Y. Clarity. There's no secret by now. Clarity as to what is the number one pain point you're solving and addressing to your podcast, your offer, your messaging, your business. Clarity as to who is it that you're helping at the highest level, your avatar. And clarity as to how long is it going to take. 3, I would add a fourth one, which is doing what. But again, these are non-negotiables of an irresistible offer. And I would, again, I've gone through that extensively so far, and I will keep going over that because that is incredibly, incredibly important.
What was the last thing you said?
The last thing is doing what? What is it you have to do to achieve that?
Okay, so all right, so that's basically then the how-to.
Yes, yes.
So
Maybe I
what are
could
you going to use? Yeah.
update my slides. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So 4 things. What pain point you're solving, for who, doing what, and how long. And this is going to lead us very nicely to the next part of this call today. Going to go in a moment. Again, I've gone to that before, so I'm not going to spend much time. One specific pain point for one person. The more magnetic your message is, the more it's going to relate with you, connect with you, be compelling, transformational, and profitable for you, and a no-brainer for them. And again, avatar. Ultimately, you are your avatar. It's not some fictional character that you have to give a fictional name, fictional job title, and so on and so forth. One specific person, one specific pain point. You are your avatar. Here's the next very important point, and that is the non-negotiable factor of a winning, successful, profitable offer in business, and that is having a quantifiable, measurable end result. Meaning, again, come back to what I said earlier. What is it you're doing? For who? Doing what? And how long? Very specific, very simple. You have to be able to quantify it, measure it, quantify and measure the end result. Very simple. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Again, this is a recap from yesterday. Clarity is the name of the game. Once you have clarity, your message will be magnetic, your offer will be compelling, your program transformational, and ultimately your business will be not only profitable for you, but impactful for the person that's gonna say yes to it. Here's some example of successful, quantifiable, measurable end results. The first few are mine. When I first started my academy, my offer was very simple. Let's launch a podcast. Initially, it was let's launch a podcast in 3 weeks. And then it went to launch a podcast to launch a profitable podcast. Then monetize your podcast 30 days after launch. And then here's another one from a client. Instead of saying, oh, let me help you become a 6-figure coach or get $10,000 a month, which for someone who's never done it is going to be impossible. Instead, remember what I said, make them believe they can understand so that they can get the result themselves. To get to 10,000 or to 6-figure, whatever, first, show me how to find my first client in as little as 30 days to LinkedIn or Facebook. Once you've mastered the steps to get that first paying client, then all you have to do is just replicate those steps to get client number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and then you get to whatever goal you want, as opposed to right off the bat, oh, let me get you to 10,000. That's going to be overwhelming, impossible. There's a very powerful African proverb that says, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Exactly. Nobody's a mouth big enough. But one bite at a time, we can eventually devour an elephant. So same thing here. to get to 6 figures, 7 figures. Show me how to get that first client. Show me how to get that first lead, that first guest on my podcast. Break it down to the smallest part. Make them believe they understand. They can do it. Give them a taste of a win. The first step, for example, for me is to show them how to get that first high quality guest on the podcast and then get that first client through a podcast. And then just replicate those steps to get client number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Payman, you mentioned LinkedIn strategies. What are the nights what night do you cover that, or have you covered that?
I didn't cover LinkedIn. It's just an example of a winning offer from a previous client.
Okay.
So for me, I haven't done LinkedIn yet. I would say the first 2.5, 3 years, 100% of my clients have come from Facebook groups. Facebook groups are an absolute gold mine.
Facebook groups.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Again,
So do you post
identify what is your pain point you're solving for who, and then find out where is that person hanging out, and then simply put yourself in front of them.
So are you responding to posts, or are you posting yourself within the Facebook
All of the
groups?
above. All of the above. I'm
Okay.
going to cover that more in detail
right.
on Friday, on day 5, which is going to be out to
Okay.
make money.
Good.
All of the
Good.
above. Yes.
Yeah, because
And
I'm
of
doing
course,
that. now,
I'm going to
both-
go
both
so much more in.
platforms.
Yes, I'm going to cover that on Friday, but I'm going to go so much more in depth into that inside the academy. So yes, Facebook groups. Basically, establish yourself as a trustworthy, helpful, knowledgeable person. Again, it's all about educating. It's not about dumping your offer on people. Let's first educate them. What is a problem? Why the problem exists in the first place? What's going to happen if they don't take any massive and drastic action right away? It's all about that. Educate, educate, educate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
The more you educate, the more you will establish trust, rapport, credibility, display your expertise, and all of that. They're gonna elevate you to being seen not just an expert, but their expert, their go-to person. And that's the ultimate goal for any entrepreneur, business person, to be known as the go-to guy. My goal is to become the go-to podcast guy, profitable podcast guy. And I want you guys to aspire to that goal as well. Whatever is your field, your goal is your objective is to be known as the go-to person in that industry, in that niche, whatever you're doing. For example, for you, Randy, you want to be known as the guy that's going to get, newbies the foot in the door in the NBA or the college level. You want to become the go-to person. Same thing applies to all of you guys, whatever your niche. Does it make sense?
Yes.
All right. So here's some others. Instead of saying, oh, let me get you fit or a sexy 6 packs for the summer, show me how to lose those first 10 pounds in 30 days with only one exercise and 10 minutes a day. That was me. Push-ups. Push-ups have changed my life. It doesn't take a lot. You don't need to go to the gym. You can just on the floor. Same thing for squats. When I first started, I could barely do 10 lousy push-ups. Now I'm doing sets of 50. So again, give them a taste of a small win as soon as possible. Break it down to the smallest piece. Again, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I know it's a funny example, but hey, that's a perfect example. The last one is the business I was involved when I first came back from China, from Hong Kong, from Asia and Canada in the spring of 2020. That started to get me back on my feet to my podcast. A friend of mine, 7-figure seller on Amazon that I met in a conference in Thailand. I saw him make a post asking some help with launching his Amazon course. I reached out to him and said, listen, let's make it fun. Let's make it a challenge. And then we helped a group of complete newbies to find, source, select, and launch their first product on Amazon within 90 days. That was in 2020 when the world was completely shut down. We were still able to help 5 groups of complete newbies to launch the
Wow.
first product. So if you want to become, for example, a 6-figure, 7-figure seller on Amazon, for someone who's never done it, it's going to be impossible. And that's coming from someone that lived in China, built and sold the Amazon brand. But instead, show me how to find, source, select that first product, that first winning product. And then once we've done that, let's do product number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Then you get to whatever goal. Same thing with getting clients. Get that first client, get that first lead, qualified lead. And then once you just replicate those steps, very simple. Always remember, one bite at a time. So these are some real life examples of quantifiable, measurable end results. Do you see how this works? How this is very specific, very logical, very clear. When you see these offers in your mind, because it's so clear, the only question you have is, wow, that's amazing. What's next? How do I start? As opposed to what? What does that mean? Doing what? Can I do it? No. You want to be so specific that, hey, the shorter, the better. Like, what's shorter than, hey, let's launch a profitable podcast in 3 weeks? Sweet, short, to the point. Here's the formula for crafting your irresistible offer. Some of you may have already seen it. It's not new. It's been around, but it's very powerful. There's 2 angles. One, emphasizing on the dream outcome. The first one. The second one is emphasizing on the pain. So let's take a look at this. I help blank, your client, your ideal client avatar, solve specific problem with proven solution, which is your program, and a given time period. And you can add some guarantee if you want. Or you can say, I help blank client with a dream outcome without pain, fear, and dream and time period guaranteed. Let me give you an example. For example, for me, in a very simplified way, I help authors, coaches, speakers to get the first and next paying client with their own profitable podcast or YouTube channel in as little as 60 days. That's emphasizing on the dream outcome. Now, if I were to emphasize on the pain, I help authors, coaches, speakers get the first paying client to their own YouTube channel and a podcast, even if you have no audience to start with, and without being a techie, and without spending a ton of time and money in as little as 60 days. And one thing I would say for people just starting out, we don't have much results, testimonials, and credibility. First focus on the pain. Let people get away from the pain. Once you have established yourself, once you have results, testimonials, then emphasize on the dream outcome. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
So very simple. This is the framework. Let's hear at least 1 or 2 people crafting your irresistible Godfather offer using one of these 2 frameworks. Short, sweet, to the point. Remember to include, call out the person you're helping, with what, doing what, how long. The QMER.
This used to, oh, sorry about that, Lorenzo.
Go ahead. What were we saying?
This used to be my old message, different client today. I help new mums slip back into their skinny jeans in as little as 4 weeks.
I like that. Doing what? Now the how. How the hell I'm going to achieve that?
Got it.
Also keep in mind, most people, again, as I said earlier, people pay for 2 things, transformation and speed.
Yeah.
Do you have the time to spend 2 hours driving to the gym, looking for a parking lot, and then doing the exercise, coming back, taking a shower? You're basically wasting 2-3 hours on top of all the other commitments. Do most people have that time? No. So for example, this is why the example of lose 10 pounds of 1 dress size in 30 days with only 1 exercise, 10 minutes a day without leaving the house, without going to the gym. That would be golden. That would be golden, especially for women just after birth, losing that that burns fat. Hey, I can do that home, 10 minutes a day, one exercise, without spending time in traffic and looking for a parking lot. Oh, absolutely. People will be lining up and saying, shut up and take my money. All right, let's hear a couple. I love what you said. That's a very powerful and just tweak it a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
I think I can add that on to what I've got here and then dress it up a little more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I help moms, empty nesters, or baby boomers find their authentic identity, to live with purpose and passion, uncover their creativity, to bring lost dreams into reality in as little as 45 days
I love that.
by using one frequency a day.
By using what, sorry?
By using one frequency a day.
Okay, what does that mean? That's ambiguous.
Okay. Okay, because I use energy because I'm like an energy
Okay.
healer too, but I'm all about frequencies. And frequencies are the electrical currents in your body. So you're triggering things to function. And so by one frequency at a time, you start seeing all this stuff change because it
Okay.
aligns you. So I'll have to figure out how to say that where it's understandable.
Yeah, your offer is good. I would say 95% good. Just add that element that says doing what. I was about to ask you, okay, how am I going to do that? And then you answered by using just one frequency. But even the word one frequency, yeah, for me, it's Chinese because that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I need. But for the person who's looking for it, they may understand, but you can make it even clearer so there's no misunderstanding. So this
So
is
I could do something maybe like one meditation at a time or something like that because the
yes,
frequencies
that's
are
even
involved
better.
in
Yes,
meditation.
yes.
Okay.
Try it again
Okay.
and keep it shorter.
Okay. Because I thought I'd do each one of these separate instead of put them together. So if I just say I help empty nesters find their authentic identity, to live on their purpose and passion, open up their creativity, to bring lost dreams into reality as little as 45 days by one meditation a day.
Absolutely, that's much better. It's a bit long. Try to shorten it a bit, but you're on the right track. Much better than before. Well done.
Okay.
One or two more people. With me. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay, I help healthcare professionals and individuals with chronic health concerns who are feeling stuck with the traditional approaches in ways that they have never thought possible, using my non-invasive solutions to solve their problems.
I love that. Just add two things. One, the time frame, and
Okay.
I would go even one step further to make it crystal clear and a atomic offer, and that would be when you say chronic diseases, be more specific. Which one have you yourself overcome? You mentioned liver.
Liver and brain injury.
So mention that because again, mention you offer what you overcame. Mention that, not just a generic chronic condition, because there's a billion chronic conditions and you haven't experienced all of them yourself. You've experienced two so far, liver and brain. So focus on those. Focus on on your zone of genius.
Okay.
Does it make sense? All right, one more. Alison, go ahead.
Thanks, Payman. I've made mine a little bit more specific.
Okay.
And I've got, I help professional women over 40 ditch self-doubt, self-sabotage, and people-pleasing, and step into self-confidence, self-worth, and the ability to prioritize themselves without shame, blame, and guilt in as little as 90 days.
Beautiful. And how are they going to do that?
Okay.
The how. See, Beverly mentioned with one meditation at a time, which is short, sweet, to the point. Find something
Got it.
similar.
Okay. I have something called my best framework. Is that too nothing?
Okay, your best framework. What
Which
does
is
that
the
entail?
best as
What does that
in,
entail?
so best is belief system, empowerment, self-love, and strive to transform.
Okay,
Or
that's
transform to
good,
thrive.
but it's a bit too long.
Yeah, got
Imagine you have 5 second elevator speech, basically.
it. Okay.
So work on that, share it in the Facebook group. But I love that. You're 95% there.
Okay, thank you.
Very welcome. Renee. Renee, you there?
Oh, I realized my video wasn't on. I've been sitting here working.
no
I'm
worries.
like, I bet you he's gonna call me up.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So this is not a strong, this is a strong suit of mine. Okay, this is what I've got so far. I help unfulfilled women who feel stuck get their spark back and start believing in themselves through reframing. That's as much as I've got.
What kind of spark? Are you talking about personal, romantic,
They're mojo, kind of
creativity?
like they're
Look at your life.
they're
What type of spark were you missing in your life and that you had to
my
overcome?
light.
Yes. Again, remember, you're the avatar. What crap did you overcome? And now that you're turning that gift of yours into a beautiful, impactful, profitable business for the right person.
Mhm. Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Please share the result in the Facebook group. Okay. Yes, Bunmi?
Great question. Okay, with the situation that I had, the liver issue and the brain injury. Liver issue takes a longer time. The brain injury, within a week and a half, I saw result. So should I say in as little as a week a week and a half or 2 weeks?
It has to be something that you can that is realistically achievable for the average person.
Yes.
And if you can, then yes, and make sure you phrase it the right way and as little
Okay.
as, otherwise exposing yourself to legal issues.
Yes.
Especially if you when you start running ads, Facebook and Google don't like any claims, especially if financial or medical claims.
Yeah. So if it's the different symptoms in the injuries of the brain, and I was able to resolve one within 3 days, another one within a week and a half.
So the brain within a week, within 3 days, and the liver within a week and a half?
No. They're different. When we talk about issues, talk about symptoms.
Okay.
So there are different symptoms, with the brain injuries. So out of those symptoms, one was resolved within 3 days, a week and a half, and then the rest gradually.
Okay.
So I'm trying, yeah.
Which one is the most important? The one that's the big domino. Once you fix that, everything else gonna fall into place naturally, organically, normally. Focus on the biggest pain. So that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean you cannot help them with pain point number 2, 3, and 4. Pain point number 2, 3, and 4 can be beautiful upsells, but your main marketing, your main messaging should be around the big pain point.
Okay.
The mother of all pains.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's
Thank
take
you.
a couple more. Welcome. Beverly.
Okay, I got a shorter version.
All right.
I help empty nesters get their authentic identity back to live with purpose and passion, get creative, and bring dreams to reality, one meditation at a time in little as 45 days.
Love that. And if I may make one more suggestion, when you say empty nesters, men or women?
It could be either.
But which one can you
Empty
help at the
nesters.
highest?
What? Say that again. Which one can I help?
At the highest level.
The ones that want to do it. I mean, I could choose one or the other, I guess, but I could say men or women. I
I will
don't know.
share a
How
little.
would you put?
I will share a little, maybe
There's more
controversial.
women out there, so I could go for women and then
Yes.
that way.
I will share a little maybe controversial stat with you guys. When I first started my business, I wanted to work with male entrepreneurs in the 40s because that's me. But then within 2 months, I noticed that 90% of my clients are ladies. And why is that? And women are much, much more likely and open to invest themselves than men. Doesn't mean that men are not willing, but from my experience, maybe it's a small set of data. But even look at the demographic of this call. It's 80%, 90% women. Very simple way. Women have more time, more disposable income, and are much more willing to invest in themselves. Again, that doesn't mean that men do not. We absolutely do. But we men are much more likely to think, oh, listen, I can figure this out. Because we have that thing here, that ego that comes into our path. We need to get out of our own way. I was that way. I don't need a coach. I can figure it out. I'm a man. But we have to be humble, eat humble pie, and say, listen, yes, I need help. And women are much better at that than men. Again, I'm not throwing rocks at men, but I'm saying from personal experience, women are much more willing to invest in themselves than men. Again, that's been my experience.
I've seen too where more women are into the spiritual awakening stuff to do meditation and things too before
absolutely.
men will.
Yes. But I'm talking way beyond this. I'm talking about spending money to invest in themselves.
Yeah. It's because you guys are compartmentalized. That's why.
More logical. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I can get this done. I can figure it out.
There is a stat there for every one man there is on the planet, there's 8 women.
There you go. All right.
Just saying.
Thank you. Anyone else? Noeline, you want to share yours? The updated version?
This has really helped payment. This is a game changer.
I'm delighted to hear that, my friend. Very welcome. All right. Noeline, once, twice and a quarter, twice and a half. All right. Gone. But please share it in the chat if you want to come back later. Just raise your hand. All right, here's some other real life examples of Godfather offers from previous alumni of my academy. I help female executives over 40 years old or more experience greater health, reverse diabetes, get off medication without drugs and expensive medical bills. That's the lady I mentioned earlier. I help male entrepreneurs in the 40s and 50s get the first paying client with I need to change the within to in as little as 30 days using the power of Facebook groups. I help busy moms in their 30s lose 1 dress size in 30 days and as little as 30 days, without going to the gym and with only 1 5-minute exercise. That would be a slam dunk offer. Right, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Or I help single dads find, select, source, and launch their first product on Amazon in as little as 90 days. Here's another one. I help introverted entrepreneurs gain unshakable confidence and land a TEDx talk without any presentation experience in as little as 30 days. That's also a slam dunk offer. That's a $10,000 offer minimum. So do you guys see how this works? How it has to be structured, specific, use easy language. So that use language at the level of 3rd or 4th grade. It's not a English class. You're not here to win the next Pulitzer award, but here to convey your message in a very simple way so that your audience really understand what is it you're doing. Again, these 4 elements. Call out the person. Who is it for? What pain point? Doing what? And how long? That is called the quantifiable, measurable, end result, the QMER. That's an absolute non-negotiable aspect of an offer to take it from just an offer to a winning offer. Winning profitable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. So here's a couple of examples of my offers over the years. The first one was the initial. I help authors, coaches, and speakers with a tiny or no audience at all launch a profitable podcast or YouTube channel to get leads on demand and clients organically in as little as 60 days. That's a good one, but not as powerful as the current one. I help authors, coaches, speakers, and speakers get the first or next client to their very own profitable podcast, YouTube channel, even if they have no audience to start with, in as little as 60 days. Do you see that? It answers all the key questions. For what? Doing what? Sorry, for who? What pain point? Doing what? And how long? This is a framework. These 4 things, absolutely non-negotiable. Again, call out the person, because I put author, coach, or speakers because I am that. I am an author, full-time #1 international bestselling author. I am a coach, and I'm a speaker. So what are you? Again, look at the mirror. You're your avatar, not some fictional character. And just like I said earlier to you, Bunmi, I would be more clear, not just use chronic disease, but the ones that you've overcome yourself. So you said liver and brain, because you've lived it. Can you help someone who's going through cancer? Can you learn that? Yes, but can you really be able to connect with them? No, because you haven't experienced that yourself. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Now, here's the bottom line, guys. Offer creation, especially Godfather offer creation, is nothing less or more than wealth creation. You want to create wealth? Become so good, become a master at creating offers. The better offers you create, guess what? The more impact you'll have around you, and the more handsomely rewarded you will be. Offer creation is wealth creation. As simple as that. Again, we've done that before, so let's summarize that. So your irresistible offer has to have these 4 elements: quantifiable, measurable, and result and time frame. Call out the person. The more specific, the better. What pain point? Doing what? How long? This is absolutely non-negotiable. It's not a matter of being right. It's a matter of winning. Do you want to be right? That's your call. Be my guest to what you want. But do you want to win? Then follow this. And by winning, I mean, even before making money, you need to help. You need to really make a difference. Change lives, save families. That's when you will get rewarded, and handsomely. And make your business, as I said in the first day, transformational, not transactional. All right, Allison, go ahead.
Payman, I was wondering if I could have the benefit of your opinion and expertise. So I have put in my new how, I think. So I've got, I help professional women over 40 ditch self-doubt, self-sabotage, and people-pleasing, and step into self-confidence, self-worth, and prioritizing themselves without shame, blame, and guilt in as little as 90 days by changing their old belief systems.
I love that.
Okay.
One issue is a bit too long.
I know.
Can you summarize that?
Well, I'm trying to make it quantifiable and get their pain points and everything, as well as the results. So that's the challenge. Okay.
You mentioned 3 things. Read it again, especially the beginning of your offer.
Okay, so I help professional women over 40 ditch self-doubt, self-sabotage, and people-pleasing. 3 things.
Stop. Of these 3, which is the most painful, the most important one that is holding, not only holding women down, but most importantly, which one was the one that was holding you back the most?
Self-doubt.
Exactly. Okay. Then build again. That doesn't mean you cannot help them with the other 2. Build your messaging on that #1 pain point. Pain point number 2, number 3 can be either module inside the program, or even better, beautiful upsells.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Very welcome. And that applies to all of you. Yes, you can help them with many, many things, because all of us have been blessed with multiple talents. But focus on the #1 pain point, the one that's, as Russell Brunson calls it, the big domino, the one that you need to take out, that's going to make everything fix slowly and naturally. So focus on that one major pain point. And again, that doesn't mean you cannot help with pain point 2, 3, and 4. You can. They can be either separate modules inside the program, or even better, beautiful upsells. Because once you've helped someone successfully one pain point, guess what? They're much more likely to invest in you for pain point number 2, 3, and 4 because they've seen the results as opposed to you dumping all of this at once at them. See what I mean?
Couldn't you also use each one of those different pain points depending on, what what the person, is, like if you're doing a networking or if you're doing, different groups, maybe there's more groups in here that have problems with sabotaging and they talk more about that sabotaging or that inner critic versus the doubt. So then say the same thing, but just use that specific pain point.
That's a good question. The way I would answer this is, again, look at yourself. Which one was holding you back the most? And all you have to do is just share your story, how you overcame it. And then the woman or the man that's going to that, they will find you. And your message will be like cracked to them, magnetically attracted to it. But again, that doesn't mean you cannot help them with pain point 2, 3, and 4. Those can be either extra modules in your program or even better, beautiful upsells. Does that answer your question, Beverly?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, well, we're done for today. Thank you. And here's an invitation. I will share my calendar on Facebook. Book a time with me for this week and next week to brainstorm and see how we can further brainstorm and see how we can implement these for your business, into your business. My calendar for a 30-minute call. Let's brainstorm. Here's a sneak peek into tomorrow. Wait. Tomorrow we're going to be technical. So the first, I shared with you at the start that I'm going to be sharing with you my proven blueprint to launch a profitable podcast and YouTube channel in 3 easy steps. Step 1 is a foundation, which is what we've been doing so far. Step 2 is a tech, which is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Launching a podcast, a YouTube channel, formatting and naming your podcast the right way, creating your cover art, thumbnails, talking about recording, editing, and all that stuff. Everything tech is going to be tomorrow. And then the third part of the puzzle is the launch, the monetization. That's going to be on Friday. So tomorrow we're going to get technical. We're going to launch a podcast, YouTube channel. And yeah, so any questions so far about what we've done tonight, this morning, today?
But it was definitely powerful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Delighted to.
Hey, man, you're like Tim Duncan. You just deliver every night.
That's the goal. The more you deliver, the more you up, the more you will make buckets and win and progress, be ranked number 1, and then go deep in the playoffs and get those rings.
Yes.
It's all about those rings, right?
It is. That's what everybody's going for.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother.
I just wanted to add my accolades to this. I got so fed up with watching webinars and seminars and challenges where it was all rah, rah, rah about me. And this is what I've done and little value. You have delivered all value. I love that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Pleasure all mine. This is what I'm all about. It's all about serving. The more you serve, the more you're going to sell. Simple as that. Thank you. Renee.
Can I go? Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Lynn has said. And just as a compliment, like what you're teaching for us to do, you're actually doing that in your teaching. Like you're getting deeper and you're educating, like you're actually, teaching us the thing you're teaching us to do. You're doing that thing, if that makes sense.
Yes,
because a lot of people, they'll just give you the information kind of on this level here.
Yes.
And it's not deep. Like it doesn't make an impact. So you're left confused, where today I've had so many epiphanies and I'm like, I get it now. Like I've done so many courses and stuff and I'm like, I just don't get this. And you just have a very beautiful, like deep connective model that you share, and it actually integrates, like it's integrating. And I've been trying to do this for years. So I'm so grateful for you. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Please don't mind. And one of my mantras, I graciously, gracefully, and gratefully claim these and all beautiful words and blessing the universe has for me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. One thing I would add to that is, remember what I've said multiple times so far? Build whatever you're doing the way you wished existed. Just like you, I've been in seminars, conferences, challenges with all about me, surface level and selling from day one. And I didn't want anything of that. So I wanted even the free challenge that I'm doing here to be as much value packed as possible. Again, because it's what I wished existed when I was going to programs myself. And I had people actually tell me, I had people from previous challenges by just implementing what I was teaching them. And the first challenge were nowhere near as good as, nowhere near as powerful as now. They were actually able to get not only leads, but clients by just implementing the free information. I had people telling me that they would gladly pay $1,000 to $2,000 just for the information I share for free and this challenge. So for me, it's all about over delivering. Just like Coach said, it's all about delivering, educating, serving, helping, inspiring, planting that seed. Because I'm here to inspire as many people as possible so that together we can create a better world.
Heyman, you're a legend. An
Thank you.
awesome legend.
Please don't
Leading
mind.
by example. Thank you so much.
Please don't mind. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for you guys, for your trust, for your time, for spending your evenings, your mornings, your afternoon with me, as opposed to a billion other things you can do. So thank you. Any questions? Bunmi.
I don't have a question.
Okay.
I'm just excited and appreciative.
I'm delighted to hear that. Thank you so much.
Very.
Let me check. Who's still here? Beverly, any questions?
No, but I really love the way you teach because of the simplicity in which you format it. And it just makes sense. It really does. And there's a beautiful group of people here, and I'd like to stay in contact with, because I think when I get my podcast up going, I'd love to have every single one of them be on my podcast as well, and that's going to be up shortly. So.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, if any of you guys haven't had the pleasure of having my podcast, let's change that. We did some powerful podcasts, me and you, Allison, recently. They're gonna go live soon. Beverly, I've had you a couple of times. Our podcast 2 years ago was the longest with your friend Nicole, 2.5 hours. And me and you, we can jazz for hours. So let's do another one, an update in the next few weeks. All of you guys, Bunmi, Renee, all of you guys, Noeline, book a time for a podcast, and also book a time with me this week and next week to further brainstorm one-on-one to see how we can implement these into your business so you can get your beautiful gifts out there and be handsomely rewarded for it. Awesome. Any other question before we call it a day, night, afternoon? Let me stop the sharing. Lynn, do you have any questions? Let me check with
I just have to say one thing. Him. I've seen so many people. I've talked to so many people. I've been on so many, quite a few platforms. But one thing about you is, you are. I mean, people can tell that you are genuine. You have that aura in you. That shows that okay, you're helping someone. And that was what I noticed when you and Beverly were on that webinar. And, I was like, I know I need to register for this just to come and see if it's really actually, the way that I was seeing. And, it didn't change.
Thank you.
And, it just makes me feel, more confident in myself that I can, I can do this, because I think about podcast, even Reel and things like that. It took me some time to even get on Reel. And I'm like running away from podcast, but I know this is something that I need. And, and being here and with everybody, it's like, we're all the same trying to learn. And there's no need to, get scared about anything. You make it so real and easy. And I really appreciate it. I think it was really a time thing, that brought me here. And I appreciate
Happens
that.
for a reason at the right time. Just like the saying says, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And it
When
was
the
meant.
teacher's ready, the student shows up too. So it
Oh,
works
hey,
both
listen,
ways.
I'm learning also all day long from everybody. It's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. It takes two to tango. So absolutely. So yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate. Thank you for this beautiful, candid, since heartfelt words. Bunmi, I'm honored, and I'm really honored to be able to be in a position to really serve you guys, help you, inspire you, plant that seed in your mind that hey, you can do it. That your voice matters, your story matters, you matter. Your gifts, all the crap that you went through, they were not just punishment, quite the opposite. They are your greatest gift. So let's bring your gifts to the world. First, we need to embrace them loud and proud, and then share them even loud and prouder around you and around the world. And there's nothing better than this, by simply having heart-to-heart conversations in an authentic way, by just speaking from the heart, sharing your story. That's why I always say, you're your avatar. Don't try to build a fictional character that's absolutely not you. That's why I stopped you when you were talking about your offer with me. It's not about chronic diseases, but which ones have you yourself overcome? And that applies to all of us. Same thing for you, Allison. You mentioned 3 pain points. Which one was the one that was holding you back the most? And you mentioned it was, which one was it again? The
Self-doubt.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Paint the picture of how self-doubt can be literally destroying someone's life. Just share your story. Put again what I said. When someone's looking for a coach, you're looking for someone who's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of them. Not some disconnected billionaire. Put yourself in your shoes. Go back when you were at your lowest, struggling a few steps ago at the start of your journey. And reverse engineer that, document the journey, because what people need as a big brother, big sister, say, hey, hold my hand. I've been in your shoes. I had this self-doubt issue. I had this, liver issue, brain issue, whatever that was. And that applies to all of us. Dysfunctional family, whatever. Share what you had to overcome. Very simple. You are your subject. You don't have to invest 10 years learning a new skill. Simply share your story. What you are offering may not be for everybody, and that's okay. But for the right person, it's going to be God sent. And that's what we're looking for. I mentioned to you yesterday, $1 billion a day. That's how much people have been spending each and every single day to solve a very specific pain point that they are facing. And that was from a year ago, now it's probably doubled. And there's no reason why all of us in here cannot get our share of that. Even if it's only 1,000 or 500 a day, even $100 a day. That pays your mortgage. If you're living in the West, if you're living in Asia like me, you can live very nice. You can be balling on $3,000 a month. So again, there's no reason we cannot do that. Again, embrace your gifts. Don't be ashamed of them. I had people on my podcast that shared for the first time what they had to go through. Like, I don't know, Coach was here. If you want to talk about that, Coach, that the first time you came on my podcast when you shared about a very painful chapter of your life that you had never shared before.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that? You want me to say it in a nutshell?
Well, it's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It took me to the brink of deciding whether I wanted to live on this earth or not. So it was pretty tragic. My wife and I, our family, faced the death of two 4-year-old daughters 5 years apart, and almost lost a third child in between the two. And it was during a time where I was working a job that really consumed me. I was gone a lot, and it was really, really hard. So I had to make some decisions. If I made a decision to stay on this earth, which I did, thank goodness, I had to figure out how to move forward, and I made some really poor decisions, just out of comfort and out of survival, if you would, and it ended up costing me in the end, big time, and then it'd be costing my entire coaching career, because of just some decisions I made. But it's I think it's something that, and we all have stuff, and there's no weight to stuff. I mean, stuff is stuff, and the things that all of us face are really heavy. So to get those things out and to share, whether you do it on a podcast, which is fine, or whether you grab somebody in a coffee shop and say, "Hey, listen, I'm holding on to some things, and I just have to share these things with you." It's just really what it's all about, and it's helped me to be able to. Although I'm still involved in coaching basketball coaches, and I love the game and very involved in the game. Um, I'm doing it from a place of accepting that I've lost a lot, and I lost my career, but I still love the game, and I still love to give to young coaches. And so, yeah, was fortunate enough to be able to write a book called Rebound Forward, but Payman was very gracious in having me on, and he provided a safe space for me. I wouldn't have gone to the depths of explaining things with him on his podcast that night if he wasn't so welcoming and open, and had not created this security for me. So, and that really forged our friendship, to be honest with you, that one night. And we've done it 7 times now, I think.
Game 7, game 8 now.
So real special guy here. But
Thank you.
yeah, podcasting can be very, very, very powerful.
Absolutely. Thank you. I love that. Love that. Thank you, Coach. Feel honored.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, yeah, guys, if you have no more questions, let's call it a night. Today's been 2 hours. And this is what I love about these calls. Nobody wants to leave. Like last night, the UK call went for 3 hours. I literally told, listen, 3 hours from 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. till 9. I was literally starving. I said, listen, I need to go before the restaurants close.
You're going to be exhausted after this week. I hope you've got something to recharge your batteries this weekend.
Yes, the beach. I'm resuming to play pickleball, which I love. I started playing competitively and meeting my friends, traveling. So yes, but because I love what I do, I don't mind waking up at 5 o'clock like this call, so at 7 o'clock my time. I woke up at 5 to get ready for it. And I have another call in the evening for the UK. For me, it's not work. When you do what you really love, you can work 80 hours a week and you will have a ball. That's ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
You will wake up in the morning without an alarm clock, ready to go like a shot, ready. So find that fire in your belly, and that is going to be, honestly, by sharing your gifts, inspiring, empowering, uplifting others, planting seeds of possibilities and onto others' minds.
I just envisioned little green sprouts coming out of your head.
Oh boy.
I guess instead of hair, you're a chia pet.
right.
good, Lynn. That was good.
I love that. That's a good one. That's a good one. You're a firecracker.
All right. It's
All right,
getting
guys.
late here. I got a
See you
few
guys
more things to
tomorrow
do.
for
It's been great. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow
Thank
same
you all.
time for tech.
Thanks,
Getting
Newman.
our ends done. Take care, guys. God bless. Cheers.
Everyone. Bye.
Have a good